Okay, so I'm a pretty big fan of car audio, and the thing is, I'm pretty cheap. I can't really afford to put in premium sound in my car, so basically I'm just going to show you how I basically just wired these myself. I got it from Walmart, about 30 bucks. It has two tweeters on the side, two 6.5-inch subwoofers. It's pretty nice. I mean, it's in the box and everything. So, and then also wiring it with these two speakers from a home audio stereo system that I had laying around in the house, and I just figured maybe I would give it a shot and see what happens. So basically, the stock speakers, which are here, I just ripped them out because they don't really work anymore. And then I just took the two wires that connect to it. One's like the power, the other one's to like for the actual speaker, positive, negative. Because they're pretty blown out. I mean, the stock speakers are like basically paper. So for a long time I've been wanting to install it, but not knowing how to do it. So just playing around with the wires a little bit, because my car's pretty much paid off, so I can mess around with it. So I basically took these two wires out here, cut them, and then well, first I just had these two installed. I just got this yesterday, so then I can just try to wire it with it, just to add some more sound, add some more bass. But these work nicely, like really good. Perfect sound, no issues. I don't use any crimping, any splicing or anything like that. I just basically old school, twisting the wires together. I still got to tape it, zip tie it, so it doesn't look all crazy, like wires everywhere. So for these speakers, obviously it has 4 wires, 2 positives, 2 negatives. So I basically just wired these two together, like the two negatives and the 2 positives together. Your two more solid colors together, and then your 2 bright colors together, basically. So that's the first thing you want to do. And well, these wires are pretty long, so I cut them so I can use it, because these wires that come down from the speaker aren't very long, and they're not going to really be able to reach these easy connectors that are for this set of subs. So I basically I wired the negatives to the positives, using the wire that I cut off, and then I just wired them like that. So it's just basically like an extension, basically extended to it, so then it can go. I need to wire it to the speaker, to these speakers, and then from there, it'll all end up in the easy connector. Now, so I have 2 of the wires from the speaker, and then the wires that are from the actual car, which is not, it's not giving it doesn't give it the power, but it actually it provides the sound, essentially. So, but just wiring these won't give you anything unless you wire the negative, which is the black wires, which is the actual power. So I'm gonna basically gonna put these 2 together, twist them up, just like that, and nothing fancy, pretty easy. I mean, not much to it. So that's just the positive wires. They're now linked together. So once I hook the negatives, the black wires, to those negatives from that speaker, then that speaker will have sound to it. And then obviously for this side, I'm going to do that speaker. So I'm going to wire the negatives really quick. So for instance, for my car, it's basically black, purple, red, but they're all half black, which indicates that it's a negative. So those are the ones you want to wire together. Okay, so those are all wired together, and basically I just want to take the time to obviously just for that one side there's a ton of wires. So what I'm going to do, I bought some tape from O'Reilly's Auto Parts, about $1.50, just your standard electrical tape. That way it'll give it more of a clean presentation. You don't have wires all over the place, because they can easily come disconnected if you do it like that, if you don't crimp them together using like a butt connector, which is, it's not necessary, but it's something that you should do. But for me, obviously I want to be as cheap as possible, and I don't want to buy crimpers. I don't want to buy the butt connectors. $6 there, $7 here, $10 there. I'd rather just use what I have. Spent $30 on this. Cheap brand. I don't even know what the brand is. I got it at Walmart. But I figured, hey, $30 is a pretty good deal, whether they work good or not. So I figured I'd give it a shot. Because I know even if these don't sound good, I have a good backup basically with these, because they do sound amazing with the tweeter and the sub. So I just began taping the top where the two wires were coming down. I'll show you the finished product of just this wire, and then I'm not going to show you doing this side, but then basically, because if you get this side down, the other side's pretty simple, and then I'll just show you to connect, to just get the final piece. And when I get down to this part to where I extended them, I don't want these two sets of wires to touch, so I'm going to tape them separately, intertwined, so then they don't conduct together, because then you'll get nothing. So that's not what we want, so I'm going to wire them separately, tape them up separately. Alright, it looks like we're all taped up here. Basically coiled these, taped them together, and then when it comes to where they would touch, I split them, so then the positive and the negatives are separate, the power is separate, so then we run down all along. I didn't tape to where the wire comes from that speaker, just because it's not really going to show. This is just the main one I want to. I'll probably tape it after I'm done later, but at this point it doesn't really matter. Alright, so what we're gonna do is, now we got our easy connectors for the speakers, and now that we have basically all these wired up, so that would, like I said, it'd be one speaker here, and then this would be the power to the speaker. So you have a positive and a negative coming from the vehicle, intertwined with this, and it'll be going into this sub. So I might mention that I don't have an amp. I don't plan on getting an amp, because this actually gives me all the bass, all the sound that I need, and it doesn't even go over 300 watts. And it sounds great. That's all that matters to me. It's just great audio. So what we're gonna do, see, we have the negative wires, so we have the dark wires. Obviously that goes into the black. Okay. And then we find this one, this one's a little, it's not pretty, but it's cheap. Alright, so just make sure they're all together, that they're all touching. And then we go right there. Alright. Y'all see that? Now these are powered with this speaker and this side of the speaker of the sub only. So all that just for this side of the sub and then this speaker. But I got to do the same thing to these wires, so I can get that speaker and this side of the speaker, and then it'll all go together. So I'll show you the final product as soon as I'm done.